Hello and welcome to one more chapter with me, Kay and Alleena. So today is Wednesday, and you know what that means? It's Top 5 Wednesday, and Top 5 Wednesday was created by the lovely Ginger Reads lady, and I will link to her page and the Goodreads group down below. And this week's topic is Top 5 Favorite Maps. And, well, being a fantasy reader that you know I am by now, I had so many to pick from, so many books with the different depictions of these maps from different worlds or series, and I had to narrow it down a little bit, but I hope that with these books that I'm sharing with you and these maps and little pieces of the story that the world belongs to, you'll find something else that you'd love to pick up and read too. So, without further ado, here we go. My fifth favorite map belongs to the half-continent in the world of the Foundling series by D.M. Cornish. I only ever read the first book of this before the covers and the, marketing of the series got changed into something a little bit different, and I want to get back into these. These are more like very early YA type books. And they follow an orphan trying to make his way in the world. At a certain point, they have to go find a job, and his world ends up being turned completely upside down by the monsters and the people that he meets in the half-continent. So here's the map, and I just wanted to mention that in this intricate detail throughout the books at different parts of the chapters, they'll zoom in on a specific spot and they'll have like other maps in the book as well as drawings by the author. And I don't know, I just always thought it was really cool, like very, very detailed and just so cool. I absolutely loved it. And actually I can't wait to start reading the series again. I had just found the books in my mess in my closet because I had them put away from when I was moving. But as I was cleaning up, I found them again and I remembered, oh, you know what? This would be great for the Top 5 Wednesdays for the maps because the half-continent, fantastic. So that was number 5. And number 4 is Alera from the Codex Alera series by Jim Butcher. One of my friends suggested that I read these, and again, I only read the first book of this series. I read that he had combined the ideas of Pokemon and the Lost Roman Legion to make this book, and I was like, oh my god. So this is one of these crazy type ideas that actually ended up working very well. I absolutely love the first book. And here's the map. And you can see that it's got like tons of really cool images in there. Not just like the map I showed you previously, which is very detailed, very like official looking map. This one has like all these cool pictures and this really cool like phoenix thing. And I know it has something to do with the story. I just don't know what, because this is the only book of the series that I had read. But yeah, the map. And that was number 4. And number 3 is the world in Karen Miller's Kingmaker, Kingbreaker series. This is the prequel, Blight of Mages. And it kind of mostly takes place in a continent called Dorana. And there's just so many countries that interact in this specific book. And in the Kingmaker, Kingbreaker series, we focus more on Lure, which is the southern half of the continent world that they live in. I don't remember off the top of my head what the entire world is called, if it has a name or if it's just, you know, the known world, Earth, whatever. And they kind of go by what their countries are. So Dorana is the main one in this book, Lure is the main one in the others, but there's other ones like Menemli and things like that. So here's the map. And like I said, it's really important to read the books that take place here in Lure first before you actually get into this one. And this map might not be like the most detailed map in the history of maps, specifically compared to the one just before this one. It's still one of my favorites though, because the history of this world and the stories behind these characters and these places is absolutely phenomenal. So that was number 3. And number 2. Did you think I could actually get through one Top 5 Wednesday without mentioning The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss? So this time it's about the maps, and so the world that our characters are all like wonderfully written into is called the Four Corners of Civilization. And there's other parts to the world than that, but that's what the story kind of focuses on. And as you probably know from my other videos, we follow the main character who is kind of at the end of his journey. It's kind of like first person shifts into flashbacks, told like a memoir in a journal, and it's just amazing. I love this book so much, as I'm sure you know. But yeah, so the world. This is expansive and very well written, and It encompasses a lot of different cultures. There's a Demmer out in the corners. There's different kinds of people that come from all four corners that end up at the university. So our main character, Kvoth, or Kvoth, I never say his name right, ends up meeting and interacting with all these different cultures, which I think is really cool and well written. I don't see it a lot in fantasy, so the four corners. And here's the map, and as you can see, it's like very well illustrated. Everything is clear to read. You can see where all four corners are. You can see like where there's different islands and things in the sea, and all this cool like map titling up here, and you can see like where all the hills and mountains and things are, and I think it's just great. It's really well done. So that's With the Wind, The Four Corners. Love this book, love the series, love this author. A+. And number one, of course, is the map of Middle-earth, or the part of it, Thorin's map, from The Hobbit. And if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that this is one of the most inspiring books that I've ever read in my entire life. It's kind of the one that made me start being a writer. And so, of course, I appreciate all aspects of fantasy, even the ones that I don't particularly care for, the tropes that I don't care for. So I think this is the most important story that has to do with the map, at least for me. I really appreciate the way that they integrate how they adventure with this. And I don't know, like, I just read this every year, maybe more than once a year, since I was 7 years old, and I just kind of really appreciate it. So here's the iconic Thorin's map. Everyone knows what this looks like, especially if they've heard anything about the movies in theaters the last few years, and how there's certain runes that can only be read via moonlight, and it shows where the Lonely Mountain is, but it doesn't really show like where the Shire is in regards to all this, but it's still really cool. I've always appreciated this one, to the point where I have a copy of this map in my kitchen. So yeah, that was number one. And without further ado, that concludes my Top 5 Wednesday and all of my favorite maps. And I hope, like I said earlier in the video, that you found a book that you really want to pick up just because of the maps. If you do, please mention them in the comments below, or just tell me some of the books that you think have the coolest universes. And if you want to hear more of my rambling, hit the subscribe button below, and I'll be back very soon with another video. Bye!